boys and girls. Hi, it's Miss Lisa, your art teacher. How is everyone? How's everyone doing? Wow, this is a new school year. Welcome back to school. And welcome back to my table of art. Oh, I went apple picking. Why did I go apple picking? Because this is the time of year where apples are at their best. It's apple picking season. We start school, we go apple picking, the weather starts changing, we start pulling out our sweaters because it's getting a little nippy out there, so we just need a little something to keep us warm. So we grab our sweaters, but the sun is shining, it's beautiful out, it's a glorious day, all week long, all season long, and we go apple picking. So what have you been doing with your days? I hope you're going outside and feeling that beautiful sun on your skin and the beautiful fresh brisk air. It is absolutely lovely. So let me tell you about apple picking. This is a few of the apples that I picked when I went picking. If you notice, they kind of look yellow. Most of the time when people think of apples, they think apples are red. Red, 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 red. That's all you hear. But you know, these apples here, they have a little yellow, and right in the tops where the stems are, it's a little bit of green, some green, not a lot. See the stem? Oops, this one doesn't even have a stem. Look at the stem on this one. You see the stem? That's the part that sticks to the branch of the apple tree. And you grab it and you pull it down off the branch. But let me tell you about apple picking. I went apple picking with my family, my husband, my kids. They brought some friends. It was a great day. My son's friend, he's in a wheelchair. He joined us. Had no problem out in the apple orchards. The orchards are nice and flat, so he was able to ride his wheelchair in there. And when you go to pick the apples, you know the trees are high, and so are the branches, and all the apples are up there. So what they do, when you go apple picking, they give you this big long stick. I mean, really long, like a broomstick. And at the end of the stick are these clamps, almost like hands. It's almost an extension of your arm to pick the apples. And what happens is you're down at the bottom with the stick, and up at the top, you put the claw-like hands up to the apple, and you pull on the stick, and it closes, just like two hands would. And then you pull the stick back, and you've got an apple. So we all had a great time, and we all were able to pick apples. Everybody went home with a little basket of apples, and it was just fabulous. But I was telling you that apples aren't only red. Apples are all colors. I have a great picture I want to share with you, so give me a second. I'm going to pull it up on my little phone here. I know we're not supposed to be playing with our phones, but I have to show you this picture because it really is beautiful. Look at that picture. How gorgeous is that? Those are different apples. This one here is the ones that I picked. I think they're called Gala apples. They're very delicious. They have a nice crunch to them when you bite into them. They're juicy, not too bitter. They're just right. Sort of like the Three Bears and their porridge. Mine's too hot. Mine's too cold. Oh, mine's just right. Whoopsie. I just turned off the picture. Hold on. Okay, so we have the Gala apple. This looks like a red delicious. This one in the back, that's really a very dark red, almost like a maroon color. Look at this one in the front. That's a green apple. You know what they use green apples for? To make apple pie. Best thing you can do with a green apple. And that, my dear, is my favorite dessert ever. Apple pie. Homemade apple pie with Granny Smith green apples. So if anybody at home decides to bake a pie with some fresh Granny Smith apples, don't forget your art teacher, Miss Lisa, because she loves apple pie. So save me a slice, send it into school, and I'll make sure I get it. Okay? Deal? All right. So, you know, being it's apple season, I figured, you know what? Let's make a project with apples. I think it's a good way to start the new school year. Just settling in, everybody's just getting back to school. So it'll be something fun and easy. So what I did is I sent home with you, for those of you that are home and watching me on the videos at home, I sent home 3 pieces of construction paper. One will be red, one will be green, it's been a while guys, green, and one will be yellow. Because my apples have those 3 colors, and I thought it would be more fun and interesting to have different colors mixed in for our project. So I don't know if you remember, we were talking about lines last school year and all the different lines we can create. Zigzag lines, straight lines, horizontal lines, diagonal lines, curvy lines. Well, the kind of lines we're going to work with today are just simple straight lines. But we're going to make those straight, flat, two-dimensional lines into a three-dimensional apple. Do you remember what three-dimensional means? It's not flat. It means that we could see all around it and we could see on top of it. Two-dimensional is when you hang a picture on the wall and you can only see the image on the front. There's nothing but the back of the frame and the wall behind it. Just the pictures on the front and nothing on the back. That's two-dimensional. I'm going to show you what we're making today. This is an apple that was made out of straight lines on paper, cut out and formed to create an apple. I made three different apples. Just to be different, I made three different size apples. I have a red apple, I have a yellow apple, and look at this one. This is a teeny tiny apple, and it's tricolor. You know what tricolor is? Tri is three different colors. But I'm not going to ask you to make this little one. You can make the large one. You could cut the strips down and make a medium-sized one. But the small one's a little too hard to handle. I'm also going to be sending you home 6 fasteners. You're each getting 6 fasteners. This is what a fastener looks like. It's a little bronze-colored item. Ugh, really tiny. It looks like a tack, but instead of just a pin at the end, it has 2 different legs. Let me see there. You can see it in front of the white. There's 2 legs and a top that looks like a hat. We're going to use that to put everything together on the top and the bottom of our apple. You're also going to get a little piece of brown construction paper and green construction paper to make the stem and the leaf. Okay? So if you're ready, let's get started. We'll start with our construction paper that is red. Okay? Now I'm going to bring this down so you can see me working on my table. So I'm grabbing my helping hand. Hello, helping hand! And you know what? He seconds as a back scratcher. Ooh, that feels so good. Okay, so let's help by pulling the screen down. Ready? Here we go. I'll see you in a minute. Okay, so here I am at my table, and I'm going to start with the red paper. Now, I made this so easy for you that all you have to do is grab your ruler. Here's my ruler. And grab a pencil. Here's my pencil. And I want you, now you have 2 sides of this paper. You have a really long side and you have a shorter side. We're working with the shorter side. I'm turning it this way so you can see it on the screen. You're going to take your ruler and line it up with the edge of the paper, okay? As close as you can get. So, on the other side of the ruler, you're going to take your pencil and draw a straight line. And look what we have. You have your first strip that you're going to cut out. Now we're going to continue doing that, but this time we're going to line the ruler up with your pencil mark. And on the other side, which is here, we're going to make another pencil mark. Here's another line, a straight line. This is going side to side. We're not going up and down. So do you remember what the line that goes side to side, right across between the earth, the land, and the sky? Do you remember what that line that separated the sky from the earth was called? Horizontal. Very good. For all of you that said horizontal. What if the line went this way, top to bottom, up and down? What would we call that line? What? Did you say vertical? Wow, what a smart bunch of kids you are. You are 100% right. So I'm going to continue making these lines all the way to the bottom. So there's no more room on my paper, okay? Try to line the ruler up with the lines that you're making. because we want to keep them as straight as possible, right? Very good. Very, very good. And I'm almost done. You should be too with your first sheet of construction paper. Okay. And I have a tiny bit left at the end. I'm still going to cut it off because I want them all to be the same size. So even though it's just a teeny bit left, I'm going to cut it off. So now we'll take our scissor and we're going to just cut where we made our lines. So you should have several different strips of red paper. Okay. There we go. So we're going to have a little scissor practice for those of you that haven't been doing much art all year. Let's get back to the swing of things and start practicing how to cut. If you can't cut, don't be too upset. You can always ask somebody to help you. Helping hands are the better hands. We always like help if we need it. We want to have a stress-free art experience. We want to enjoy what we're doing. And when we can't do something, we ask for help. There we go. See that little tiny piece I had left? I'm cutting that off because I want them all, again, the same size. So let me ask you something. If I were to line these up one after the other, 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 who can tell me, did I create a pattern? Is this a pattern? A. It's all the same. It's repeating. Would we consider this a pattern? What do you think? I say absolutely. It's definitely a pattern because a pattern repeats. And this is repeating over and over and over. So I'm going to come back down. There we go. Okay. So these lines are repeating. A. I'm calling them A. It's a pattern of straight lines. So let's take these lines and put them over to the side. And we're going to take out our green construction paper. Remember, we have a long side and we have a shorter side. I hope I took two pieces by mistake. So let me put this one back. All right, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to start at the edge of the paper. We're going to line our ruler up with the edge of the paper. And we're going to draw a line on the opposite side. There we go. So here I have my first line on the paper. Can you all see that? Okay. So now I'm going to line the ruler up with the first line I drew. And on the other side, I'm going to make another line. And let's continue that all the way to the end. Alrighty? So you guys do the same thing, and I'll work on mine. Line after line. Again, this line is going side to side. Like if I looked outside the ocean, and I saw the ocean separated from the sky, that line is in the same direction as what I'm drawing right now. And that is called the, what is it called? Absolutely, the horizon line. Okay, so I drew all my lines, so next step is we cut. Again, I told you I was going to give you scissor practice today, and this sure is a lot of scissor practice. We're going to improve our scissor skills this year. We're going to be more creative in our decision making when we make art. We're going to improve in every area of art this year. Okay, here we go, here we go. Look at me cut away. Again, I want you to try to cut, but if you're having difficulty, ask for help. No problem with asking for help. Okay, I've got one left. Okay, now I want to do something else with these strips. Now watch this. How about if I went red, green, red, green, red, green, and if I just continued that over and over? Is this a pattern? Well, let me think. Does it repeat? Red, green, red, green, red, green. Yes, it does repeat. But is it only all red? No, I have two different colors. And that's okay. This is another way of creating a pattern. A, B, A, B, A, B. Very good. Very, very good. So now let's collect our red and put it back on the red pile. And collect our green strips and put them on the green pile. And we have one last color to work with, our yellow. So let's begin by lining the ruler up with the edge of the paper and draw on the opposite side of the ruler another line. And we will continue doing the same thing until we're at the other end of the yellow construction paper. And what do we do when we get to the end of the construction paper? We get out our scissors and we start cutting on the lines that we created. What kind of lines were they? Yes, they're horizontal lines, but are they zigzag lines? No, they're not zigzag lines. Are they curvy lines? No, they're not curvy lines. Who said straight lines? Oh my goodness, you are so smart. They are straight lines. Very good. Here there are horizontal lines. What about if they look like that? Are they still horizontal? Are they going side to side? No, they're going top to bottom, top to bottom. So those are the vertical lines. Alrighty, time to cut out our lines. Here we go. So right now I'm cutting out my strips of yellow, and they're flat and they're two-dimensional. Once I lay them down, they're just flat two-dimensional pieces of paper. All you can see is the top when they lay on the table. Can't see the bottom, nothing to see around them. Just a flat piece of paper. Two-dimensional flat piece of paper. Hey, I got an idea. I now have a new color added to the bunch. And it's our yellow. So how about we make a really great pattern with red, yellow, green. Ooh, I like this. I like this. Red, yellow, green. One more, guys. Let's do one more because it's so pretty. Red, yellow, and green. Bravo! Bravo! What a beautiful pattern. A, B, C, A, B, C, A, B, C. What a great pattern. Red, yellow, green. Red, yellow, green. Red, yellow, green. Well, that's a pattern, boys and girls, because it repeats itself over and over and over. Very, very good. Okay, now, if you look at my pumpkin, crazy. If you look at my, it does resemble a pumpkin. And you know what? You could do these around Halloween. Make it orange paper. My apple has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 strips of construction paper to form a red apple. Now I want you to make one solid color apple, and I want you to make one apple with a pattern. And the last apple could be whatever color you want, okay? So the red one's very easy. You're only going to use red construction paper. And we have plenty of red to make one with solid color and one in a pattern. So the second one I'm going to show you, we're going to make a pattern. And I think we're going to go with the ABC, ABC, ABC pattern, which is the red, yellow, green, red, yellow, green. But in order for this one to stay in order, 3, 6, we may have to use 9 strips of paper or 6 because we want it to continue evenly all the way around. Now, I'm going to start with 6 strips. So I'm going to take the red, the yellow, the green, the red, the yellow, and the green. And I'm going to stack them in that order. All right? Red, yellow, and green, they're in that order. Just want to see if that'll be enough. That will be enough for one apple, definitely. Now what you're going to need to do at the top and at the bottom end of these strips are put a hole in them. I have a hole puncher, so watch how easy that's going to be. As soon as I find my hole puncher. That was right here. Hang on, I have a hole puncher. Oh, right in front of me. Okay, so I'm going to hold these strips together. I'm going to place the hole puncher here and pop. Okay, that's the easiest way to do it. Now I'm going to pop the other end. Now, not everyone has a hole puncher at home. So there is a way for you to do this. You would have to do one at a time. And what you're going to do is you take your strip of paper. We want to put a hole right here. So just so you could see where it's going, I'm going to put a black dot so you know where it's going, or an X. Okay. You see how X marks the spot? That's where you're going to put your hole. So what I want you to do is fold that X in half. Okay? Then you're going to take your scissor and then just cut on the X that's showing. See that? And there's enough of a hole here, you see, that when I need to put the fastener through it, I won't have any problem putting it through. I don't need to make a big hole. I just need something that allows this fastener to slip through. And that's perfect. That's all I need. So we actually just cut on the X. When we fold it in half, we just cut on the X. Okay? So, let's go back to the strips that I have, where I've already cut the holes in, okay? Now, before I attach this, there's something we need to add. We need to add the stem and the leaf. So each of you should have a small brown piece of construction paper and a green piece of construction paper. Miss Lisa uses her scraps. So here's a scrap of green. So I may have pre-cut the leaves for you. I don't remember. But if I didn't, it's very easy. You see the shape that I made for my leaf? And now I have to get brown construction paper to make my stem. So I'm going to look in my scrap bin, which is right here on the floor. Hang on. I don't ever throw any of my scraps away because you never know when you might need them. See this? Some people might call this garbage. I call it the stem for my apple. Isn't that smart? Doesn't it make more sense to reuse, recycle, reuse? All right, so now I have a stem, which is also going to need a hole at the end. But I'm going to fold it a little bit down, fold the stem. See the bottom piece of my stem is folded? Because that's going to lay on the top of the apple. See how it's folded there? And I'm going to punch the hole right there on the small end. That will be on the top of the apple. And I'm going to need to glue my leaf to the stem. I'm going to use glue stick. You know why? Glue stick dries faster. And I want to finish this. So look at this. Put a little glue on the stem, stick the leaf, and look how fast. It's already dry. Okay, so now let's get our fastener. Here's my strips of paper. The hole is all at the bottom. Here we go. Here we go. Okay, let me line up all the holes. They moved a little bit. Just a little bit. Okay, they're all lined up now. I'm going to take the leaf that I made and put that right on top. Let's take our fastener and put it through all the holes. And in order to close the fastener, you just take these ends that are sticking up and bend them forward. One on one side, one on the other. Some of you have longer ones, some of you have shorter ones. They're all the same, so don't worry about it. All right, so now this is the top of the apple. Now we have to form the bottom. So I'm going to take my other fastener. Remember, you're each getting 6 of them, which allows you to make 3 different apples. Making sure this tab is either at the bottom or the top. Whoopsie. And we're going to stick this through the holes. Open up these little flaps there. Okay. Now, it's still flat and 2-dimensional. How are we going to make this become a 3-dimensional apple? With a fabulous pattern, I might add. Well, here's where the magic begins. Curve it a little bit and just start separating the pieces. Stretch them apart from each other. Go gently. Don't rush. Don't rip. Separate your strips slowly and gently, one after the other. Wow, it's like magic. Ooh la la, I'm likey, I likey. Looky, looky. Here's our first apple. This one only has 6 strips, but it has one great pattern. So we made our flat, 2-dimensional line on a piece of construction paper, and we created a 3-dimensional apple with a fabulous pattern, I might add. So what do you think of that? Now, boys and girls, take the rest of your strips, do whatever you want. If you want a solid red apple, if you want a solid yellow apple, if you want to make an apple with green and yellow, by all means, it's up to you. This is what I mean about your creative decision making. As long as you make one apple with a beautiful pattern, could be 2 colors if you want. I would prefer 3. But if you can make an apple with a beautiful pattern, then you're free to make the other 2 apples any way you want. Solid color, mixed colors, patterned colors, however you want. Okay, boys and girls, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed making apples with Miss Lisa as much as I enjoyed making them with you. So until we meet again, which is next week, you guys stay well, be happy, get out in that fresh air because it's winter's coming, it's right around the corner. Enjoy the outdoors while you can, and always keep art in your life because art is so good for the soul, keeps you happy and smiling. Okay? Make that promise, and don't forget, anybody making that apple pie, remember Miss Lisa, the art teacher. All right, boys and girls, ciao for now from my table of art. I'll see you next week. Be good. Bye-bye.